has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
Make sure you get the SportsGrid app on iOS or Android in the Play Store. It's free. It's unbelievable. You can watch the network on there, listen to the network on there. It's got the TV side, the radio side. Follow your favorite hosts like Carver High, and it's got in-game odds, everything. This thing has everything, and it's free. You're going to love it. The SportsGrid app. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Did you know we're streaming on X? That's right. Every day, 7 days a week, you can watch SportsGrid on X. Just go to SportsGrid-Live. You can get the Ferrall Coast to Coast full 3-hour podcast of the show and the Ferrall on the Bench podcast, both of them on Apple iTunes every day, Monday through Friday. The lineup for tonight on SportsGrid TV and on the radio side, they'll be airing the TV side later, I'll tell you. So after the show at 6 to 7, it's Game Time Decisions with the mayor of Miami, Joe Ranieri, for 1 hour. And then at 7 o'clock Eastern until 1 a.m. Eastern, it is In-Game Live with Ben Stevens and Coach James Young. 6 hours of Bracket Central going crazy with all the games in the Sweet 16 regionals in Newark and in San Francisco from 7 to 1 a.m. So that's the deal. That'll be airing on the SportsGrid Radio network as well. So check it out tonight on SportsGrid TV and SportsGrid Radio, depending on where you are. If you can watch, if you can just listen, or you are on the app, either or, you're good to go all night long. We're in hour 2 now of opening day. The basketball, obviously, is later. But here we go in the middle hour on a Thursday, a very exciting day with everything that's going on with baseball, and we're still talking about the games that'll be under the lights tonight.
Yeah, let's get the 3 night games involved as well here, as all those 9 4 o'clock starts, except for that St. Louis Twin game, are about to throw first pitch. Dodgers will get their home opener. Of course, they're already 2-0 after a victory in Tokyo, 2 victories in Tokyo over the Cubs. They will have Blake Snell tonight. Are they wearing those gold jerseys, I guess, for the home opener,
Probably.
right? The gold World Series jerseys. Tariq Skubal coming off a Cy Young Award season with the Detroit Tigers. He gets the ball as well. Minus 160 for LA, plus $1.35 for the Tigers, and a 6.5 total.
I mean, you got to be drunk to take them, but I'm going to take Skubal and the Tigers. I thought the run they went on last year to get into the playoffs was just absolutely spectacular. I thought Hinch did a great job. Obviously, Skubal. I thought the Tigers were so exciting. This guy wins the Cy Young. Let's see him go out and prove it tonight at Dodger Stadium. That will not be easy against that team. They just don't lose there, and they, frankly, don't lose anywhere. But if one guy could do it, it would be this guy. And I think Snell's a badass as well, so I wouldn't be surprised at all. Now, I don't do it a lot, but I wouldn't be surprised that thing stays under that 6.5 with these two guys on the bump.
And one other note from this game, because, of course, we talked about this guy the other day. Mookie Betts is in the lineup, hitting second and playing shortstop for the Dodgers today.
He weighs 75 pounds.
He weighs 75 pounds, but he is playing tonight. Orioles have tacked on another run. Now 2-0, they lead the Jays in Toronto in the top of the second. Not a great start for Jose Berrios here, and he's still got some man on third.
Rodon's injured. Oh, God, here we go. I think they're going to leave him out there. They all came to the mound like the end of the world. Oh, it was over at first base, and he got racked at first base. Your boy Rodon went down hard trying to get Frelick over at first, and he missed the bag and fell down like clumsy ass Rodon would. Oh, you should have seen him bite it, but he's still on the bump.
The Cubs are in Arizona tonight against the Diamondbacks at Chase Field. Of course, as we mentioned, they're out to an 0-2 start after their Tokyo trip. The Steel Mill will pitch tonight against Zach Gallen of Milk. Minus 125 for the Diamondbacks, plus 105 for the Cubbies, and an 8.5.
Well, let's make it 0-3. Gallon of Milk will beat him in the desert. I like the Diamondbacks over U.S. Steel. The steel mill getting involved.
Steel mill. And finally, late night, the A's don't have this year technically a city name in front of them. They're not called the Sacramento A's. They're just called the Athletics this year. They're in Seattle against the Mariners. Luis Severino and Logan What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Minus 165 now for the Mariners, plus 140 for the A's, and a 6.5 here as well.
Yeah, I want the A's to win like you do, but I'm on the M's here at home with What's Eating Gilbert Grape over Severino. How about Severino getting all that money? He's not worth that money. I mean, they just gave him the farm. Like, I almost fell over. What'd they give him, $60 million? Honestly.
Something like that. They gave him somewhere around there. That's for sure. The Berrios got out of that jam, so they go to the bottom of the second in Toronto. 2-0. Orioles lead the Jays. And I've now flipped over to Nasty Nate Eovaldi on the hill for the Rangers as the Red Sox will start their season as well.
I hereby put a bocce jinx on the Red Sox season.
I hope so. That would be very good because we played that under 86.5 yesterday. The Jays, as you mentioned at the top, they did make another offer to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but he's not having any of that.
Swinging him now.
He already told you. He set the date, and the offer probably wasn't that great anyway. So they're just going to have to deal with it. He's going to leave after the season. They're just going to have to understand that's the cards they've been dealt here. To start the 2025 campaign. There you go. Obviously, we'll be talking baseball the whole show because there's so many live games on. Can we get a bell ring, too, while we're on today?
Can we
ring the bell with one of our guys?
Can we get some funds flowing here?
Need it badly. So hopefully we can ring the bell at some point.
We need Bellyache to come through.
That would be a real good one. If we could start the season with a plus 700 hit, that would be a great way to kick the festivities off.
7-1,
as little 7-1 bellyache, or if Bregman wants to hit one too. I know we're cursing the Red Sox, but if Bregman wants to start his season,
there will be no Bregman home runs.
We won't find any of that either.
Jinx that has been placed on the franchise.
We will.
Bregman will get injured, and then they'll force to play Devers at third, and they'll commit 79 errors. Shake Eddie.
And half of them will probably be on purpose because he'll just want to screw them for taking him off the third base. He goes, "You guys think I'm not good? Here we go. Watch this. Let me throw a couple into the seats." To start the year off. And Harper goes down
by
swinging.
Rodon on a tapper off the plate, and he made a brilliant throw to first after he had fallen down like Clumsy Jones.
Bryce Harper starts his season with a strikeout as well for the Phillies. So a little strikeout for Harper. Why did they take, they're not hitting Schwarber leadoff this year. I mean, why? They dropped
Schwarbaum is the man.
You got to have Schwarbaum leading off. I cannot believe they're hitting him fourth this season. We'll come back. Sweet 16 tonight. Newark and San Francisco. We will hear from some of the coaches and give you all the numbers for these 4 games this evening. NCAA
can you imagine how great it's going to be tonight? I mean, just the basketball. Like, I'm going right off the baseball into the basketball. That's just all there is to it.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
All
Need a social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
I mean, Peralta is just throwing gas at Bellyache. And, I mean, it's a 2-2 count, and he is just swinging for the fences, too, when he takes cuts on this guy's stuff. And he's just fouling balls off left and right. It's intense. All right, Sweet 16 tonight in Newark at the Rock. And, of course, at the Chase in the city, in the way.
Yep, we get back going with the NCAA tournament. We've had a few days off. Of course, last weekend, you know, in terms of excitement and upsets, was probably a little lackluster. There it is, the big picture there for you as we get ready for tonight. And 4 games this evening, 4 games tomorrow, and we'll get a little closer to the Final Four. I will be updating baseball as I move along, though. Juan Soto gets a hit in his first Met at bat. A little single to the right side for Juan Soto.
Belly single, no homer, but he singled to right. So at least he got a hit in his Yankee debut.
I need more.
Not good enough. We don't care about singles here on CNC.
We care about taters. Singles do nothing for me. So let's start with Alabama and BYU. They'll kick things off just after 7 o'clock East in New Jersey at the Rock. We'll start with Alabama head coach Nate Oates. Of course, there's been a lot said about Alabama's defense, particularly that they don't play any. Here's Nate to talk about that.
I'd appreciate it if you guys put a lot more talk out there about our defense isn't good enough to win this game so that we could show our guys that nobody believes in them like last year. So, yeah, I mean, our defense wasn't any good last year. I think we weren't even in the top 100 on defense.
We went to the Final Four.
It was pretty easy to show our guys that our defense isn't good enough. We struggled there at the end of the year. They finally got the guys to wake up after we lost the first round of the SEC tournament. They lost, at the end of the regular season. I think this year our defense is significantly better. It's still not where we'd like it to be, and it's going to have to get significantly better to make another Final Four run.
Well, we'll find out tonight with a team that likes to fill it up in BYU, and you and I both feel that, this to me is about offense. This is not a defensive game. So all this talk that he just said, we'll tell our kids they don't play any defense. I mean, they don't. So let's watch these two go up and down and see who can put more on the board.
Of course, BYU hasn't been in this spot in a while. Their new head coach, Kevin Young, and their crew going into the Sweet 16 against a team that went to the Final Four last year, he knows it's going to be a very tough challenge.
Obviously, we're excited to be here. Excited to advance in this tournament and have a chance to keep playing. Obviously, Alabama's a great team, super well coached, and tall task for us. But have our guys feel like we're in a really good mental place, and we're just excited to get to the game.
Yeah, okay. That just didn't go over with me. I'm not buying the car. I'm not buying the car from this guy. Like I think they're really good. I have actually bet on them, and a lot this year, and they constantly get it done. So I am worried about the number. Okay, I'm not going to deny that. I still think Alabama beats them. I think Alabama can win the game and cover. I still think I'm on Alabama with you, but I think BYU's better than I guess everyone thinks they are. They're legit.
I think that they're legit too, but the problem I have tonight with them is that I just think it's a really bad matchup. I think that they're trying to beat a team that does what they do. They just do it a lot better. That's the thing that I know that BYU could score tons of points. Well, Alabama, that's what they do. They score tons of points. And I just think it's going to be very tough for BYU on this stage to overcome that. It's 4.5 now for Alabama. And as you mentioned, a mammoth 175.5 the total has gone up to. I'm on Alabama, and I'm on the over.
All right. So there it is. Let's go. There's nothing else to say. Let's just go.
Let's dance, baby. Indeed. The Mets have a little something going here. 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs in the top of the 1st down in Houston. With, I believe, that is Brandon Nimmo up at the plate. And the Guardians have the bases loaded in the 1st inning against Kansas City.
Oh, God.
Against
Reagan's getting lit up.
He's in trouble. First batter of the year for Paul Skeens. I thought we were going to get a 1-2-3 strikeout, but he fouled off the 3rd pitch. So still an 0-2 count, first batter of the year for Skeens. Looking to shut things down there. All right, the first game of the night in San Francisco will be Maryland and Florida. Of course, Maryland, last week we talked about Willard, bringing up all sorts of NIL stuff as he's still being rumored to take this job potentially at Villanova. Right. He didn't really want to talk about the NIL stuff yesterday. Here he is.
You've been very open the last week about, trying to get greater NIL share, revenue share. I'm sure you saw Mike Loxley yesterday said he would prefer to keep some of these issues in-house. Why have you felt like kind of bringing this discussion in the open has been the best way to advocate for your program?
Well, I'll be honest. I think our biggest thing is we got to stop Clayton. He's really good. He shoots the basketball going left 48%. He shoots it right going at like 38%. So really the last couple of days, trying to come up with a game plan to stop Clayton, because I just think he's one of the best guards in the country that we've seen. And then really, obviously trying to fix our rebounding woes have been at the top of my mind too. So
I'm taking the Nova job.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
Yeah, what a loser. I think that's just being a D. He's just being a massive D. Okay, there it is. That is all you need to know. He's going to Villanova. He's not going to talk about Maryland's NIL problems when he's leaving. Like, is there any? I think it is just absolutely sickening that nowadays they open up this portal during the NCAA tournament to ruin the tournament, and then coaches are taking jobs in the middle of the NCAA tournament, including a guy playing in the Sweet 16. It's unbelievable.
It really is. We'll give you the numbers for Florida and Maryland when we come back.
Want to play roulette? Here's a tip. European roulette has a lower house edge than American style. The lower the house edge, the better shot you have at winning. Most online casinos offer European roulette. So, if I were you, I'd get spinning. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
You studied the stats. You had the perfect bracket until your upsets turned into regrets. SportsGrid rides the highs and lows of every buzzer beater, bracket buster, and Cinderella story.
The Big Ten Freshman of the Year!
Our team brings you sharp insights, real-time reactions, and all the madness. Only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Listen, I think he's done a good job coaching. I'm not going to deny that. Willard, right? When he was here in New York, right? And then what? In College Park, and now he's going to go to Philly, it looks like. You would think he's going to take that Nova job, right? Like, you don't think he's going to stay at Maryland after all this? Even though, like, you're in the Sweet 16, he's done a great job in College Park. I got to be honest, I was really disappointed in kind of how he was acting there. Like, what's your problem, dude? Like, what's your deal? Like, it's like I said, these guys taking jobs while they're like this guy Wade, like they're taking jobs while they're still coaching some team. Like, it makes us if some guy's leaving my program and doing that to me in the middle of the tournament with that on the line, the tournament's on the line, and you're leaving, good riddance. You're not coaching my team tonight. I don't care who coaches, the assistant coaches, but you're not coaching them. I just don't understand anyone that would tolerate it. I really, this day and age of these people pushing around the suits, like, what is happening here? Does anyone control anything? Like, you're in charge. This coach isn't in charge. Athletic director, the president of the university, nobody has the stones to tell this, calm down. Like, get out then if you don't like it here.
Look, I don't think it's a given that he's going to Villanova yet. I really don't. I think that there's still some discussions that are going to happen whenever Maryland's season ends. Do you think that
job's better than this job?
Well, I've seen a lot of people discussing that over the last 24 to 36 hours as well. And look, I mean, the Big East is one.
Wright. Okay, he's not Jay Wright. I think he's perfect where he is. He's never happy. Look, the guy moves around like a United Van Lines.
Unfortunately for him, this is his own fault because last week he decided to air his grievances about some of them, how the money gets spent, how he couldn't spend the extra night in New York during Christmas time with the team and all this other stuff. So he opened the door by talking about this stuff. And now the football coach is involved, Loxley. I wish we didn't talk about it. So
what did Loxley say?
That he didn't want to, he didn't like that some of this stuff was being aired out in public. He didn't like that Willard, I guess, was talking about how the NIL is being distributed and how some of the money the school spends is being done. But, for you to do that last week and then yesterday now it's, I'm ignoring you and just going to talk about the game, that's a tough look. Say, you could at least say, guys, I know I talked about this last week. I still have thoughts on it, but I'm just I'm going to keep it to the game for now, and let's focus on playing Florida here on Thursday night, and we'll do this at the end of the day. You can't just ignore it and go and blow by it after what you said last week. So that's why Willard's in a tough spot now with what he's done, and I think it's 50-50. Honestly, I think he could be going to Villanova. I think he could just as easily stay if they pony up a big enough check for him at the end of the day. I think they're going to get whacked tonight. And I think that and I don't think it has anything to do with any of this stuff that we're talking about. And it's -6.5 for Florida and 156.5 the total. I just think that we saw Florida have a tough game on Sunday. They got pushed by UConn. It was a different style of game for them. I think that they're going to get their offense back rolling tonight, and I don't think that's going to be a good thing for Maryland. I love that kid Queen, but I don't think that they're going to be able to hold him down on the outside, and I think Florida's going to run away and hide.
Listen, I do think it is influenced tonight. I think he's distracted. I think he's been having secret meetings, phone calls in his hotel room. I think he's doing deals with Villanova. I think that he's turned his, obviously back on Maryland. He opened his mouth. Now he won't talk. He's already done it. He's already let the cat out of the bag. And then the football coach gets involved. The kids are like, what the hell's going on here with our coach? I am telling you, it's bleeding into this game. And I believe tonight when he's coaching that game, half of his mind will be in Philly and the other half will be on the game. It's not good enough, in my opinion. It's like Izzo says, when you're in a game of this magnitude, your entire essence of focus and everything, every fiber in your body has to be in the right frame of mind with communication and everything that you do to play basketball. You have to be in the right place and frame of mind. I don't believe for 1 minute that Kevin Willard's in the right frame of mind at all.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There's a couple of reasons why St. John's lost this game. Number one, it has nothing to do with the fact that R.J. Lewis was benched the last 4 minutes and 56 seconds. The kid was 3 for 17. He was terrible defensively. His shot selection had a lot to be desired. And when Zuby Ejiofor shook him, there was nothing there. It was a blank stare. They got him out the game because they had to.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Derek Queen said, as Willard quoted, "Give me the effing ball." And deliver, Derek Queen did. The king of College Park, Derek Queen, our first true buzzer beater.
I think that Maryland's going to win this game. I just think they're going to find a way to get the ball inside. They're going to cut down Clifford. They're going to contest the three-point line a little bit better. They're going to funnel the ball in.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Turning the corner here on a Thirsty Thursday. Good to have you with us on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Hello, everybody. Opening day. We're talking about the regionals, and John Shire is certainly not leaving Duke.
Certainly not. Quickly, let me give you a couple of updates on the baseball. Of course, opening day, lots of live games. The Orioles have opened it up in Toronto. 6-0 now in the top of the fourth inning. As we told you earlier that they got the home run from Rutschman, and then they scored another run. How about a 3-run homer from Tyler O'Neill? How about this note, Scotty? 6th straight opening day home run for Tyler O'Neill.
What is going on there? What is going on?
I saw some people reach out and tweet at me when I didn't have him on the Tater Time last night. Why don't you have Tyler O'Neill? He's homered in 5 straight opening days. Honestly, I didn't play him because, every sports book tweeted out that he'd homered in 5 straight days. It was like they were begging you to come and play it, and I stayed away with the fade. But look at that. He ends up doing it anyway. So congrats if everybody got their Tyler O'Neill tickets this afternoon and got another homer out of him. And then Cedric Mullins homered after him for the 6-0 Oriole lead. So Berrios gets lit up here on opening
what a
day.
performance by him. He just got torched.
Only other scoring so far, Reds are up 1-0 on the Giants, and the Braves are up 1-0 on the Padres. They both pushed across runs in the first inning for there.
What is the Pirates score? It's still scoreless?
Scoreless, yes. Scoreless. Skeens already looking dominant. He had 2 Ks in the first inning. He's off and running for the Buccos. You mentioned Shire and Duke. They will play tonight in the second game in Newark against the Arizona Wildcats. Of course, these teams played, Scotty, way back when. How about this? In November is when these two got together. Duke did win the game in Tucson 69-55. Shire says that was a very long time ago. I don't really put much into it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much it means, to be honest. I think watching that game back, I'm sure Tommy would say the same. We're very different, so are they. Different personnel. The game was slow. I think both teams are playing a lot faster. But naturally, there's still some things you can take away. But overall, I think we're 2 very different teams playing a lot more confidently. The cohesiveness of both groups is different. But I think the thing that's similar, anytime Duke and Arizona play, you have 2 proud programs, 2 teams that both expect to win, and it's going to be a physical, really tough game.
And, they beat it by 14 there. And now they're playing in Newark, and it's neutral, and it doesn't. They were at home in the McHale Center and got whacked. It's 9.5. I know it's dangerous, but is it really? Is it really that dangerous to lay 9.5 with Duke? The way they play against they win every game. They play by 20, at least. That 14's turned into 25-30. Now, I do not think they're blowing them out. I don't. But I could see it being the same game. 12, 13, 14 points at least. For me, just how tough they are. It's unbelievable. I can't even compare the 2 teams. I agree with him that they've changed, with the guys that are in the rotation now. But the defense hasn't changed. And I guarantee you they watch that film. And they know what they're going to do. And it's real simple for Duke. As far as I'm concerned, shut down Love, win the game.
Since Shire has been the head coach at Duke, they're 24-0 straight up as a favorite of 6 or more points, which, of course, they are tonight. That's against non-conference opponents. They're 17-7 against the spread during those 24 games as well. It's 9.5. It's a big number. It's 154.5 for the total. Earlier in the week, Scotty, I was thinking about maybe going after Duke, and not thinking that they would lose the game, but that maybe Arizona would hang around in that 9.5. As we get closer to tip-off, I'm lingering on that thought. I think that maybe that number is that big for a reason.
I mean, they just do it to everybody. It doesn't matter who they play. They're just better than everybody. I mean, are they not destined? Listen, the college basketball season started, and we were on the air, and I said to you from day one, this kid's going to win a national championship. He's that good, and he is. And you know what's funny is that the rest of them are really good, too. They're really talented, and they do everything right. They're well coached. They play the game the right way, both ends. They do everything with intensity. Their defense is sensational. I still think Duke and Houston have the two best defenses in the tournament, and it is what it is, and it's hard to bet against them.
It's very hard to bet against them, that's for sure. So Duke tonight in that. Second game in San Francisco will be Arkansas and Texas Tech. Calipari has been very impressed by what he has seen out of Texas Tech so far, looking at the tape.
They can shoot the three, or if you try to take that away, they can post it. And they play that way. And they'll figure out where there's an advantage, and they go right after it. He's done a great job. He really has. And it's going to be a really hard game for us. But you know what? My kids, they've come through the fire. And my guess is other than a fan of Arkansas, no one's picking us to win the game. But the great news in this tournament, you got to play the games. You got to play them. And so we'll see. And I'll tell the kids I'm going to do my best for 40 minutes to give you everything I have. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes I'm not as good, but we'll see.
Listen, it's amazing to me how no one mentions Grant McCasland, and it's always about John Calipari. That has to be overwhelming for McCasland and for Texas Tech fans and the Texas Tech SID and the players. And it's always about John Calipari. It's not even about the players on the Arkansas. It never is. It's about him. Everything's about him. It was the same way at Kentucky. The difference was at Kentucky, every kid that he coached went and made tons of money in the NBA. We haven't seen that start coming to fruition at Fayetteville yet, but this game is about Texas Tech against John Calipari, and that doesn't jive with me. Texas Tech is flat out better than Arkansas. They're flat out better than them. And I've said on the show this week, I think they have a chance to cover. I still have a hard time believing they will. I really do. I think Texas Tech's going to beat them. And I know he's a great coach. I know that they showed, I think Morency talked about how he never loses. He covers every game. He's tending to all this. He's not playing. I think he's a great coach, and he knows what he's doing. He's slick as they come. And he can talk, and he can sell it, and he can do the whole bit. But this team he's playing is a real legit basketball team. They're really good. And they're dangerous. And I think they'll move on.
Yeah, look, 5.5 right now, 147.5 is the total. And I believe the number is, and I have it here, Calipari 8-3-1 against the spread as an underdog in the NCAA tournament. That is his numbers.
He never covers every time.
I like Texas Tech in the over. I like Texas Tech tonight.
I'm with you.
They're not going to shoot like St. John's did on Saturday. They're going to make their shots, and that's going to be a problem for Arkansas.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There's a couple of reasons why St. John's lost this game. Number one, it has nothing to do with the fact that R.J. Lewis was benched the last 4 minutes and 56 seconds. The kid was 3 for 17. He was terrible defensively. His shot selection had a lot to be desired. And when Zuby Ejiofor shook him, there was nothing there. It was a blank stare. They got him out the game because they had to.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Derek Queen said, as Willard quoted, "Give me the M effing ball." And deliver, Derek Queen did. The king of College Park, Derek Queen, our first true buzzer beater.
I think that Maryland's going to win this game. I just think they're going to find a way to get the ball inside. They're going to cut down Clifford. They're going to contest the three-point line a little bit better. They're going to funnel the ball in.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
I know we're going to keep talking about the NCAAs, but I have to say this. Like, I'm sitting here watching this guy judge, and I don't deny he's a great player and all the rest. But have you ever noticed, seriously, in big games, like in the playoffs, in the World Series, he never does anything. At opening day, he's striking out. I mean, struck out like at least twice today, 3 times maybe. I can't keep track of it. He just had 2 on, 2 out, and whiffed again. And I'm like, I don't deny that he puts up huge numbers. Have you ever noticed that it's always in games that like don't even like May, June, July, August, September, and the dog days, and then in October he does nothing. Have you ever noticed that? Like I've noticed it. Like I'm sitting there watching him today. Like when he comes up to the plate, I'm like, oh, here comes an out. Like it's just like it's inevitable. I'm not even tripping.
Certainly seems that way for him sometimes, that in these big
Seems
we
that
know
way.
the
It is
playoffs.
that way.
We know the playoffs are no doubt that happens. But yeah, a couple of big spots here today so far on opening day, coming up empty for Aaron Judge. So
I'm already mad. 1 game in. It's halfway through the game.
It's a long
and I'm
season.
blaming
It's a long
him.
season. You got to give him a break. It's a long year. Astros take a 1-0 lead on the Mets here in the bottom of the second inning, as they just pushed a run across.
You said the Mets
on a
had all
fielder's
kinds
choice.
of action brewing, and nothing ever
They
got
did.
plated.
Did not score. And remember I told you the Royals, the Guardians had the bases loaded against the Royals in the first inning. They did not score either. Reagan's got out of that. Ronald Reagan's got out of that mess. And the Rangers have a 1-0 lead over the Red Sox in Arlington.
Timeout.
As they got
left.
themselves
I
a
was
run
thinking
across.
of that
Yes.
sandwich at the K. Just think of it with the 2 onion rings on it and the brisket. Can you just think about that for 1 second? I mean, I'm surprised that Luke Milvada hasn't pulled that picture up again. That is maybe the greatest sandwich I've ever seen in my life. That brisket with the double giant onion rings on it with the sauce and just oh, and I got the big kahuna going tonight too. It's a kahuna night at the Uncle Futrelli Palatial.
boy.
You know it's all happening to Big Kahuna.
And the White Sox have a 1-0 lead over the
What?
Angels. Austin Slater with a home run for the White Sox. See if they can somehow finish that off today. All right.
Big summer on the south side.
Last couple things on the tournament. Of course, we have some very big favorites. 3 of them, 2 of them tonight and 2 of them tomorrow night. Favorites of 6 or more points. 26-2 straight up, 19-9 against the spread in this tournament so far. So big numbers have been covering Duke and Florida tonight, Auburn and Houston tomorrow. would fall into this category of the 26-2 straight.
They're just, bottom line, they're just heavyweights. And this tournament used to be about Cinderellas. Those days are long gone. They're long gone. And now it's about heavyweights. And it's about money. How much money are you going to pay to have the best players in the country on your team? How much is your budget? And then you'll think less about spreads and think about money and think about flat out. These teams are just better. They're just better than the teams they're playing. And I got to be honest. Like, I don't care if Arizona beats Duke. Like, I'm not going to lose any sleep if they beat them. That's fantastic. I've never liked Duke. My dad went to Duke and shoved it up my keister my entire life. My entire life. Since the 70s, I've been hearing Mike Kaminsky. I have nightmares. About Duke. I am an Indiana fan. I hate Duke. So I don't care. But they're just flat out better than everybody. And like Houston's defense, these teams with big spreads, they're all better. They're just better teams.
Better teams. That's how it goes sometimes. Here's tomorrow night's action. Of course, we'll spend a lot of time tomorrow on these games. Ole Miss and Michigan State, Kentucky and Tennessee, Michigan and Auburn, and Purdue and Houston all tomorrow here.
Well, Mike DeCourcy sounded like Michigan State was, living at Fresh Kills on a trash heap, that they're no good. And that they played terrible. I mean, they won. They won the games. And now you'll find out how physical they are tomorrow night against Ole Miss. Physical, big, rebounding, banging teams, are hard to beat. And, whatever. Like, so you're worried about the number. I get it. Around here, well, it's all we worry about. But they worry about winning. So they need to win by one. So I still think they're better. I really do, defensively. I'm about defense at this point. And then I think Kentucky, everyone thinks they can't win. They beat them twice. That number to me stands out, stares at me. They got a shot, even though I think Tennessee's really exciting. I've seen Tennessee shoot bricks. And if Kentucky forces them into a bad shooting night, they'll beat them a third time. And then I think Auburn, but Michigan's a nightmare. I don't think you can give them that many points. They're in every game they play. They never lose. I mean, it's just the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. And then I think Houston will beat Purdue. Purdue's tough. Problem is, Houston's tougher, and they're better. And they have the best defense with Duke in America, those two teams. So at some level, some people have said Florida's going to win it all. I still think there's a chance, those two teams, Duke and Houston somehow. Like, I don't even know. I can't even look at a bracket right now. I'm just guessing this. But that's kind of my feeling, that they're so dangerous defensively. You can't score against them. Purdue will have trouble putting the rock in the hole. I guarantee it.
Yeah, Duke and Houston are on the same side if they get to the Final Four. So they would play in the semifinal.
They play in the Final Four.
They would play. Duke and Houston would play in the national semifinal in San Antonio.
Well, then I think, there's a team that can beat Duke. There's a team that can beat Duke.
Yeah.
I don't think they can score enough, though. If it turns into a game where, you got to get a bucket, I think Duke gets that bucket more than Houston does. They score more.
By the way, I've seen some people follow you up with the Judge thing. I saw a bunch of tweets. Guess we're getting October Judge today. Getting October Judge in the Bronx here on opening day.
I mean, it's the most unbelievable thing you've ever seen. Like, it happens every time in a big game. The guy does nothing.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There's a couple of reasons why St. John's lost this game. Number one, it has nothing to do with the fact that R.J. Lewis was benched the last 4 minutes and 56 seconds. The kid was 3 for 17. He was terrible defensively. His shot selection had a lot to be desired. And when Zuby Ejiofor shook him, there was nothing there. It was a blank stare. They got him out the game because they had to.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Derek Queen said, as Willard quoted, "Give me the M-effing ball." And deliver, Derek Queen did. The king of College Park. Derek Queen, our first true buzzer beater.
I think that Maryland's going to win this game. I just think they're going to find a way to get the ball inside. They're going to cut down Clifford. They're going to contest the three-point line a little bit better. They're going to funnel the ball in.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
You knew they were going to have to walk back that UConn mess after their loss in the tournament at some point. And then he literally, Dan Hurley had about a 27-minute media session in the hallway up there. I guess the, glad bags were out and they were, finishing off the season with the, let's pack the bags and I'll talk to the media one more time. And he basically admitted that he was out of control, lost his mind. Was foul-mouthed, and then he tried to save his friend's ass, that media director for UConn basketball's ass, after that guy was the Tool of the Month club after he threatened the young reporter who did a great job getting the sound and breaking the story. I mean, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Like, as a journalist, your job is to do exactly what that kid did, and they didn't like it because they're bullies, and you threaten the kid. I think it is a horrible look for that guy. And then his coach now trying to save his ass. And he's, you remember the clip we used to run, Mavia? Don't judge him by this meeting alone. He's normally a really nice guy. We used to run it on the show all the time. This guy trying to cover his ass is pathetic to me. Why is that guy not talking about how much of an asshat he was threatening the kid? He did all of his apologies under the table. He called the kid and he thought that was good enough because he thinks he's highfalutin up there in stores.
He does think that.
This guy's a massive D.
We ring the bell. P out in Kansas City.
And a big number, 7.5 to 1. What do we got here?
Look at that. Vinny P going yard. Let's go.
K with the brisket sandwich. Free sandwiches for everybody.
A 3-run shot for Vinny P. 3-0 Royals.
What was the price on that? $650, $750?
No, he was $750 yesterday. Vinny P. Yesterday morning he was $750. So, listen, it's a good day now. It's an up day, even if none of the others come in. But let's get some more for us. Let's get a few more cooking this afternoon. And my favorite part of the Hurley stuff was he said all these apologies, and I was running it. But then at the end he said, "Yeah, but I'm not changing either, by the way. I'm not changing who I am." So he's not going to change. Nothing's going to change what he does.
Who does?
Right.
I mean,
who does? Who does?
I've been crazy and I've been a loudmouth my whole career. It is what it is. So get used to it.
Get used to it. That's how it goes. Colorado State hired your boy. Now, look, I'm not going to try in this one.
Farakmanesh.
Farakmanesh. Ali Farakmanesh. Now, you remember him as the kid that was on Northern Iowa.
That's right.
When they beat Kansas that year and they had that tournament run, he was the big player on that team. He's been an assistant coach on Nico Medved's staff for the last few years, both at Drake and then at Colorado State. He now gets that job after Medved left for Minnesota. So congrats to Ali, now going to be the head coach there in Fort Collins, where, as you say, Jesus lives in Fort Collins. He certainly does.
That's where he lives. And there's a lot of people, a lot of hippies there that follow him in sandals.
Yes. NIT last night. We have our Final Four now. Loyola beat Kent 72-62. And the Anteaters needed overtime to beat UAB. Now, depending on when you got the number, it was 5.5 when we were on yesterday afternoon. It got down to like 2.5, 3.5, 4 too. They won by 4 in that game, overtime. So that means next week at the Butler, at the Hinkle Fieldhouse there, home of Butler, Loyola will play Chattanooga. North Texas will play the Anteaters in the Tuesday night NIT semifinals. Congratulations to all of them.
And remember,
good games.
Just remember, the Mocs never lose.
No. And North Texas is going to lose their head coach. He'll still coach next week, but he's going to take the job at West Virginia.
Here's another one. They're going to let him coach. So he's screwing him, and then he stays.
Ross Hodge getting involved with that. And the entire – you sent me a bunch of Indiana stuff. The entire Indiana team's going in the portal. Let's save ourselves some time. Everyone's leaving Indiana. The guy's going to have a whole new team next year.
Well, good riddance, because you sucked anyway. There wasn't one guy on the team worth a damn to begin with. I thought Rainier was decent, or Reynaud. I can't even remember his name. He's so awful. And Baco, Cup. Cup never played. He's going to, Ohio State? Have fun. He's from Columbus. Go back there, you backstabber. And you never played at Indiana anyway, Mr. Badass, Mr. Ohio. You suck.
Here's a tip. Some machines and online games have higher average payouts than others. Want to try to maximize your odds? Well, do some research online to find games which have the highest RTP or return to player percentage. So now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parody. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
13.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.